This origin has literally no flavor or roleplay potential, making it the most basic origin in Stellaris. Although the mechanical benefits are nice, what if we could spice it up? Well, with this mod, it has a bunch of flavor and diverging paths for you to explore and get that sweet hit of flavor. In this video, I'll be checking it out and showing you all 3 diverging paths, so let's get into it. And here is the Empire, United Nations of Earth. That's right, a preset empire, for why not try it? And it has Prosperous Unification. It might make it even more flavorful. We'll be playing on my standard settings. Let's get into it. Now, the origin hasn't changed much at the start. We still get the lore, basically the human lore, but there was a branch in the timeline where we actually would have a world government, and well, then we could leave Earth the invention of faster than light travel. Now, the origin gives us planetary unification tech, but we still have to research it, which is a little bit annoying. But the main thing is Prosperous Unification on our capital. We get 15% happiness, 25% amenities, 10% resources from jobs for 20 years. We also do start with extra districts. It's a decent mechanical origin, but there's no flavor. This is it, usually. Once Prosperous Unification ends and we've settled 2 other worlds, we'll start getting the new modded lore. So I'm not going to bore you with the build-up unless something really interesting happens. I'm just going to play as normal and grab these planets. But yeah, we also start with extra pops in the origin. I completely forgot to say that. We've now actually got our 3 planets going, so once the 20-year mark hits, we'll be able to carry on with the lore. We've found a friend, and we've got our first robot, and we can actually give them traits already because we're flying through tech. And they're called the subscribers, which you can be one of if you just click that subscribe button. We're going to get to 40k subscribers before the end of the year. It's going to be tight. It's going to be close to every one of you needs. When we hit that, I'm going to run a series where I have to get every achievement. I'm going to cry. I don't know why I'm doing this. And we are 5 years off. We're getting there. Oh boy, this is a great paragon. We get XP gain, research speed. They get so much tech. Put them as a governor. And we just get less encryption. Who cares? We'll put them straight on our tech planet because I may or may not be tech rushing slightly. This is what this origin allows us to do. Oh, and here we go. So we did just lose Prosperous Unification, and this is where the origin would end. It's literally that basic. But with this mod, we get a fading identity. Prior to the founding of our united government, there were a myriad of independent nation states scattered across the planet. The founding of the united government of Earth was a long process that required many compromises to be made between the nation states. However, there were some nations that felt forced into joining the new government in fear of being left behind, but they not. This sentiment is still shared by the people who used to call themselves citizens of these countries. While the united government has certainly created a prosperous society for our people, there are still some who are becoming restless as their old cultures and customs have faded out in favor of a united and centralized society. These old traditionalists will learn to move on. We're going to begin the collapsing unity event chain. That's not good. So here is the situation: collapsing unity. The unity of our people has been called into question. Traditionalists wish to retain their old cultures and ethos, while the extreme unionists want to centralize society further. These 2 factions may escalate the divide between them, which could even lead to violence with the moderates in the unity government fail to keep the peace. There's 3 levels of escalation. I have no idea how we change that. It might pop up when we click play, or we'll just have to wait, I guess, for something to pop up. I have no idea. Oh no, they were elected. It's not awful, but we can't make use of the science. United culture takes root. While many of the older generations at capital will still cling to the tradition of their now defunct nation states, young generations of colonists have no such attachment. Having grown up only knowing the new ways of the unity government, these new generations have no such traditionalist views and are far more united in their customs and culture. Should the divide between traditionalists and the unity government grow too large, the unity government should surely be able to count on the support of the colonies. New generations will not. So this could hint at colonies breaking off from the capital? I hope not, but who knows. Tensions in the capital. So there's been a divide between the traditionalists and those who side with the unity government. There's been heated debates. It still remains under control, but the rising tensions are starting to drive our people apart, defeating the purpose of the unity government entirely, and we lose that unity we just got from the colonies. So that was a bit pointless. The traditionalists have organized into an official movement. Their views vary, but they agree that there should be differences. Naturally, the unity government and its supporters have denounced this movement, claiming that it's trying to divide the species and revert back to an age of discrimination and cultural factionalism. Perhaps we're not as united as thought. We lose 1,000 unity, so it hopefully gets better. Violence against the government. Tensions have reached a new high. Politicians attacked in the street of the capital, reportedly by members of the traditionalist faction. Local police are still searching for those who carried out the attack, and the population is growing more concerned about the stability of our nation. It's clear this problem is not going away, and the government will soon need to take action. This can no longer be ignored. Growing tensions modifier on Earth for 2 years. minus 10 stability. Oh, that's annoying. High tech. No. The attackers have been apprehended. After interrogation, it was confirmed they were part of the Traditionalist faction. After this information was revealed to the public, the Traditionalist faction did something unexpected. Instead of disowning these extremists who expected, they actually applauded their action. The spokesperson of the faction stated that if our government would not agree to their demands, more violence may be necessary. They are traitor. We get +1 Traditionalist escalation level. There was no option, but now we've got an extra escalation level. All right. Foundation of the Supreme Unity. With the chaos on the capital being noticed by the colonies, a new group of pro-unity individuals was formed. They believe we have not gone far enough, and that the Traditionalist faction is proof that without utter centralization, we can never be free from our turbulent past. The suggestion have been considered too extreme for the Unity government to stomach, but their influence does appear to be growing amongst the new generation of colonists. Supreme Unity escalation. Okay, so we have one of each now. We've not had a choice really, but it's cool. Hopefully we get to choose in the future what we side with, because otherwise we're just reading a story. Factions clash in the capital. This evening, all hell was let loose on our capital. The Traditionalist faction had scheduled a protest in one of our major cities. However, unknown to us, the Supreme Unity had sent a large group of its members to disrupt protests. Naturally, this escalated into a violent brawl. Our police units are on standby waiting to engage, while we can aim to break up the brawl and restore order. There's a risk of the mob turning on us and damaging the infrastructure. The alternative is that we join one of the factions in this conflict, thus securing their support but angering the other. And this is where we get the choice. We get +1 in escalation and minus in the other one, or we can do nothing. Now there are 3 outcomes to this origin, and we're going to try to do them all. The first choice, let's side with the Supreme Unity and side with them. Street fighting becomes common. Riots in the capital have generally been suppressed. Street fighting has continued between the 2 factions for some time after, beginning to severely damage the infrastructure and will need extended repairs. We've captured some of the more important militant leaders, ceasing the fighting. We could fund repairs ourselves. We could force the factions to pay up. Well, obviously we are going to force the Traditionalists to pay up because we're siding with the Unity. Get 15% devastation, and we'll see the other options once we get to the end of this one. So we have pushed Traditionalists to max level, and now we have Traditionalist escalation. It seems the Traditionalist factions are stronger than we first realized. After our government has repeatedly failed to appease them, they have rallied their followers into a militant force. We have not yet identified who's supplying their weapons, but at this point it is too late for intervention. We must prepare for a civil war. Ends the Unity event, begins the imminent crisis event. Oh, this is not good. I'm not ready for a war. I'm not ready. Okay, let's get some armies. I don't know if we need fleets and stuff, but we'll prepare like we do. The Supreme Unity offers aid. With the ongoing crisis, our government has been desperately seeking allies. It's of no surprise that the Supreme Unity has offered to raise its own militia force to help us fight the Traditionalists, as well as providing material aid. In return, we'll have to allow members of their faction into our government. It may reduce stability as they try to push for their more extreme policy. We can get 1,000 alloys, 20 militia units, and we get minus 10 stability. I think we'll accept their help there. And we get the armies here as well. Very nice. We do have the situation here. The situation doesn't really say much, but they did uprise from us. The Traditionalist uprising. The day has come. Traditionalist militias have launched an attack on our capital world. The Unity government has fled to the colony worlds, where it will organize a counterattack. Let's take back the capital, or our nation will be forever fractured. The Traditionalists seize the capital and rebel against our empire. Human Alliance declares war on the United Nation Earth. They will pay their treachery. We're at war with them. They have a 1,000 fleet. We have 2. We should be fine. We did build up enough just about, but they are steamrolling towards our other planets and systems. But luckily for us, we just built star bases everywhere, and we can just go and invade, and then we'll go crack down their fleet, which is just dying to our starbase with no weapons on it. Oh, they literally retreated. And we're killing them here on Earth. End of the Human Alliance. We get our planet back. We lost our robot making thing. Traditionalists defeated. Finally, the Traditionalist rebel forces have been utterly crushed. We're finally free from cultural division, with the proof that unity is the only way forward. Let's move into the future with this new found national identity. Together we prevail. For the entire rest of the game, we get 10% more unity, and we get 33% governing ethics attraction. Now that's if you side with traditional unity people. Let's see what happens if we side with the Traditionalists. Okay, let's help the Traditionalists. Okay, the street fights are happening. We will take the Supreme Unity on the repairs this time. Now there's the escalation. It's the same, just the unity, and there's an imminent crisis that will build up again. The Traditionalists offer aid. We get 500 alloys instead of 1,000. That's annoying. And we get 10 armies. That's good. I could be cheesy and destroy the star bases, but we don't really need to. And they have rebelled. Oh, it's only on 1 colony. Okay. They have 2k to be fair. 1.8k destroyers. I think that might be because I just unlocked destroyers. In the last one, I didn't go for destroyers, so maybe it's based on the text I have. Well, we'll end them real quick. Yeah, they die now. Disrupt to 2 corvettes this early is insane. They're dead. And what bonuses do we get? Premium unity is defeated. Old ways were right. You get happiness, faction unity gain, and less government traction. Not bad. Now let's see what happens if we don't side with either. We will restore order. I feel like I'm going insane repeating this section of the game. It's quite funny. Street fighting becoming current. We're going to fund the repairs ourselves. We actually lose energy and minerals, but we don't side with either of the factions. Okay, new events. Repairing the damage. After the major riots and frequent street brawls between traditionalists and unionists, our capital world is in a state of disrepair. While the major damage from the capital city riots have now been dealt with, we still need to aid the many other cities on our homeworld that have been damaged. Members of the government have drafted a plan to divert various construction goods to repair effort, much to the detriment of our own stockpiles. Alternatively, we could simply allow the cost to fall on our population, where this may fit but divide our people as they seek to blame each other for the damage. Yeah, we're going to provide reconstruction aid. Oh my gosh, job consumer upkeep 25% for years, or we can lose unity from jobs 50 bucks. We're going to try and be the peacekeepers here. Consumer goods are going to die a little bit, but we'll just turn our alloy world into factory world. It's fine. See, we're fine. Speeches of unity. As the tensions on the capital briefly calm, the leadership has taken the opportunity to hold a speech of unity. We can make subtle hints to support one of the factions against favor, or we could focus on uniting the population together. Now, we're obviously going to focus on uniting. We'll get 3,000 unity. That's pretty nice. Get the absurdity of this many planets in this cluster, and I've had 3. A grand debate. To improve the unity of our people, the government have invited leaders of each faction to debate their policies in a civilized manner. While the idea may improve our unity, it could lead to a faction becoming aggravated from losing the debate. We get to choose who wins. Oh dear. So the supreme unity can win, get 2,000 unity, it escalate, same on the other one, or a brawl breaks out between the factions. Well, we're gonna have to click that. Monthly unity minus 10% for 5 years. That's fine. Policy on culture. It's finally time for the unity government to set its official policy on culture. We allow the practice of old cultural traditions, or should we ban them outright to enforce a cultural unity? Oh my god. We can get rid of escalation levels, avoid the issue and maintain status quo, or ban all cultural practice. We're obviously going to avoid the issue and maintain status quo. Unity, it's fun. Education reforms. Our education system has become a recent topic of contention. The Supreme Unity argue we should remove all teachings about pre-unification cultures to help reduce the presence in the new generation. Oh gosh. And the traditionalists obviously think the complete opposite. We can either escalate and de-escalate and get less governing ethics attraction, or we can do the same but increase you know what I mean. We're just gonna get rid of it. I don't think we can go negative unity, so it's fine. Who cares if we go to 0? Final reform colonial policy. Finally arrived at the last reform our government wishes to make to solve the cultural crisis. Could we promote or prevent the older cultures from our capital spread into new colonies? Suppose we can simply leave things as they are. Only a small number of traditionalists tend to migrate colonies. It's the same as last time, but let's just leave it as we might have successfully negotiated without increasing the escalation level of each one. Dissolution of the supreme unity. Thanks to clever government policy, our cultural reforms have appeased the majority of the nation. The unity finds itself becoming more redundant by the day, with only its most fanatical members remaining. We could allow them some representatives on the faction into our government to appease the remaining members. Alternatively, we could condemn the remaining members as extremists, ridding the colonies of their disruptive behavior for good. So we get more stability for 5 years in colonies, but it increases the escalation by 1. But because we didn't take any escalation, we can go to 2. We may as well take the free stability. Perhaps with the traditionalist movement, yep, this is literally the same thing. And we can do the same thing because we are only at 1 level. We can just get free 10 stability for 5 years. Why not? It just boosts stuff. Victory of the unity government. Despite the pressure from both traditionalist factions and the supreme unity, the unity government has held firm. The population of our empire now rally behind the government and reforms into a brighter age. Finally, we are united. Ruler pop output plus 15% for the rest of the game and 5 stability for the rest. Game. It's not bad. I think this added a lot more to the origin. Obviously, we kind of rushed through it in 33 years, so now there's still nothing, but at least we get a united nation or the other benefits if you chose to side with either or. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. We're going through quite a few origins and looking at how they are and what could be done to improve them. Just like this video here, where I looked at the gateway origin in vanilla just to see why it's awful, because there's a lot to it, but also not a lot. You'll see what I mean when you watch it.